High in the Himalayas, a giant sleeps. Mount Everest. Its peak pierces the sky at a breathtaking 29,029 feet. Everest straddles the border of Nepal and Tibet, a majestic presence in both lands. The Nepalese call it Sagarmatha, goddess of the sky. To the Tibetans, it is Chomolungma, Holy Mother. The answer lies partly in the human desire to test our limits, to push beyond the boundaries of what we think is possible. Everest is a test like no other. It demands physical strength, mental fortitude, and unwavering determination. To climb Everest is to engage in a battle against the elements, against exhaustion, and against doubt itself. It is also a journey of self-discovery. Climbing Everest is not a whim. It is a serious undertaking, one that demands years of preparation. This is not a climb for weekend warriors or casual hikers. The mountain demands respect, and preparation is the ultimate form of respect. Physical training is paramount. Months, even years, are spent conditioning the body for the extreme demands of high-altitude climbing. The gear required for an Everest expedition is a testament to the extreme conditions faced on the mountain. Every piece of equipment, from the boots on your feet to the ice axe in your hand, is essential for your safety and success. Clothing is crucial. Layers upon layers of high-tech fabrics designed to keep you warm in sub-zero temperatures and wick away moisture. A good pair of mountaineering boots can mean the difference between a successful summit attempt and frostbite. Then there's the specialized equipment. Oxygen tanks and masks for survival above 26,000 feet, where the air thins to a whisper. What kind of person is drawn to a challenge like Everest? What drives someone to risk their life for a chance to stand on top of the world? There's an undeniable thirst for adventure, a desire to push the boundaries of human experience, a yearning to test their limits, to see what they're truly capable of. For some, it's about conquering a fear, proving something to themselves or to the world. For others, it's about the pursuit of a lifelong dream, a chance to stand on a summit they've only ever seen in pictures. After weeks of preparation, the journey to Everest begins in earnest. Climbers arrive by plane in Lukla, Nepal, a tiny airstrip perched precariously on a mountainside. From there, it's a trek on foot, following ancient trails that wind through Sherpa villages and across suspension bridges strung high above rushing rivers. The air grows thinner with each step, the landscape ever more stark and breathtaking. Finally, after days of trekking, base camp comes into view. A sprawling canvas of colorful tents pitched on the Khumbu Glacier, at an elevation of 17,600 feet. This is no ordinary campsite. It's a temporary city on ice, a bustling hub of activity during the climbing season. Hundreds of climbers, guides, Sherpas, and support staff from around the world converge here, all drawn by the magnetic pull of the summit. Base camp is not just a place to rest, it's a training ground, a place to acclimatize to the extreme altitude. The human body is not designed for these heights. The air is thin, holding just a third of the oxygen found at sea level. To climb higher, the body needs time to adapt, to produce more red blood cells, those tiny oxygen carriers that fuel our every move. The acclimatization process is a slow and deliberate dance with altitude. Climbers spend days, sometimes weeks, at base camp, letting their bodies adjust. They make practice climbs, ascending to higher camps and then descending back to base camp to sleep. It's a rhythm dictated by the mountain, a constant push and pull between pushing their limits and allowing their bodies to recover. Base camp is a melting pot of cultures, a place where climbers from all walks of life come together with a common goal. There's a unique camaraderie that develops in this extreme environment, a bond forged in the face of shared challenges and risks. In the thin air, differences melt away, replaced by a shared understanding of the task at hand. Evenings are spent in the warmth of the communal mess tent, swapping stories over mugs of steaming tea. Climbers from different countries, speaking different languages, find common ground in their shared passion for the mountains. They share tips on gear, discuss route conditions, and offer words of encouragement and support. Leaving the relative comfort of base camp, climbers prepare to enter a different world. The route to Camp 1, the first stop on the ascent, leads straight into the heart of the Khumbu Icefall. This is where the true challenge of Everest begins, a test of both physical courage and mental resilience. Imagine a glacier, not a smooth, pristine expanse, but a chaotic jumble of towering ice seracs, deep crevasses, and precariously balanced ice blocks. This is the Khumbu Icefall, a living, breathing entity that is constantly shifting, groaning, and threatening to collapse. It's a place of breathtaking beauty and heart-stopping danger, where every step forward could be your last. Climbers rope themselves together, a lifeline in a world of unstable ice. Navigating the Khumbu Icefall is a slow and treacherous process. There is no clear path, no marked trail. Climbers rely on the expertise of their Sherpa guides, who know the icefall intimately, reading its subtle cues, anticipating its next move. They use a system of ladders and ropes, fixed in place by the Sherpas, to cross gaping crevasses and scale vertical walls of ice. The ladders are flimsy, swaying precariously over deep chasms. The Khumbu Icefall is a dangerous place, even for the most experienced climbers. Over the years, it has claimed the lives of many who dared to challenge its treacherous slopes. Avalanches, falling ice, and hidden crevasses are constant threats, and even the most meticulous preparation cannot always guarantee safety. The Icefall is a stark reminder of the unforgiving nature of the mountains. Despite the risks, climbers are drawn to the Khumbu Icefall, their determination fueled by a deep-seated desire to test their limits and to experience the raw power of the natural world. They know that the dangers are real, but they also know that the rewards of overcoming such challenges are immeasurable. The Khumbu Icefall is a crucible, a test of both body and spirit. Emerging from the Khumbu Icefall is like stepping onto a different planet. Gone is the oppressive sense of claustrophobia, the constant threat of collapsing ice. At 19,900 feet, Camp Wise sits nestled in the western combe, a vast amphitheater-like valley carved by glaciers over millennia. The air is still thin, the temperature frigid, but there's a sense of spaciousness, of being able to breathe again, both literally and figuratively. From Camp Wise, the true scale of Everest reveals itself. The summit, still a distant goal, seems to pierce the very heavens. The route from Camp Y to Camp 2 is deceptively challenging. Though not as technically demanding as the Khumbu Icefall, it's a long, slow slog across the undulating terrain of the western Khum. The air grows noticeably thinner with each step, the sun beating down relentlessly on the exposed glacier. Dehydration is a constant threat, and climbers must force themselves to drink liter after liter of water, their bodies craving moisture in this arid, frozen world. The landscape is starkly beautiful, a monochrome world of white snow, blue ice, and the occasional splash of color from a climber's jacket or tent. The silence is broken only by the crunch of boots on snow, the hiss of a stove melting snow for drinking water, and the occasional shout of encouragement between climbers. Camp 2, perched at 21,300 feet in the shadow of the towering Lhotse face, is a sight for sore eyes. After days of trekking across the western Khum, The sight of the colorful tents pitched precariously on a narrow, snow-covered ledge is a welcome one. This is the last bastion of relative comfort before the final push for the summit, a place to rest, refuel, and prepare for the most challenging part of the climb. Looming above Camp 2 is the Lhotse face, a sheer wall of ice and rock that rises over 3,600 feet towards the sky. It's a daunting sight, a seemingly impenetrable barrier that tests the limits of human endurance and determination. The route up the Lhotse face is a mix of fixed ropes, ice ladders, and sheer willpower, a vertical marathon in the thin air. Climbers spend several days acclimatizing at Camp 2, making practice climbs on the lower slopes of the Lhotse face, their bodies slowly adjusting to the decreasing oxygen levels. The air is thin, the nights bitterly cold, and sleep is a precious commodity at this altitude. Camp 4, perched precariously on the South Col at 26,000 feet, is a place of stark beauty and haunting silence. The air is thin, a mere whisper of its sea-level richness. Here, even the most experienced climbers move slowly, their bodies starved for oxygen, their lungs burning with each labored breath. The tents, battered by the relentless wind, seem to huddle together for comfort, casting long, eerie shadows across the snow. This is the gateway to the death zone, a realm where human life hangs by a thread. Above this point, the body can no longer acclimatize. Survival depends on supplemental oxygen, on carefully calculated movements, on a steely reserve of mental strength. The summit push begins in the dead of night, a slow, agonizing procession of headlamps snaking its way up the mountain's upper slopes. The air is bitterly cold, the wind a constant threat, threatening to rip climbers from their precarious perch. Each step is a victory, a testament to sheer willpower, a defiance of the body's screaming protests. The route is familiar yet treacherous. The balcony, a small exposed platform at 27,600 feet, offers a brief respite and a breathtaking view of the curvature of the earth. The South Summit, a false summit that has broken many a climber's spirit, looms ahead, a tantalizing glimpse of the ultimate goal. As dawn breaks, painting the eastern sky with hues of pink and orange, the final obstacle appears. The Hillary Step, a 40-foot rock face that guards the summit ridge. Here, even with fixed ropes, the climbing is technical, demanding every ounce of strength and focus. But the air is electric with anticipation, the summit within reach, the culmination of years of dreaming, planning, and sheer hard work. And then, finally, it appears. The summit of Mount Everest. A small, snow-covered plateau, adorned with prayer flags fluttering in the wind. The view is breathtaking, a 360-degree panorama of snow-capped peaks stretching to the horizon. Section 1. The Long Road Home. Standing on the summit of Everest is a moment of triumph, but it is also a beginning. The descent is just as treacherous as the ascent, if not more so. Exhausted, oxygen depleted, and vulnerable to the elements, climbers must navigate the same treacherous terrain, their minds and bodies pushed to the brink. Every step down is a victory, a step closer to safety, a step closer to home. As they descend, the magnitude of their achievement sinks in. They have faced their fears, pushed their limits, and emerged from the crucible of Everest, forever changed. They have experienced the raw power of nature, the fragility of life, and the depths of human endurance. They have learned the true meaning of teamwork, of camaraderie, of the bonds forged in the face of adversity. The journey to the summit of Everest is a testament to the indomitable human spirit, a journey of risk, reward, and self-discovery. It is a reminder that our limits are often self-imposed, that with enough determination and perseverance, we can achieve the seemingly impossible. But it is also a reminder of the importance of humility, of respect for the natural world, and of the preciousness of life itself. So, the next time you find yourself facing a challenge, remember those who have stood on the summit of Everest. Remember their courage, their determination, and their unwavering belief in the power of the human spirit. And then take a deep breath, dig deep, and take that first step towards your own personal summit. The world is waiting to be explored, and the only limits are those we set for ourselves.